Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of the Alien vs. Predator Galaxy podcast. I don't really know if it counts as the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think it does, man. This is our first official commentary, which we have done a number of attempts at commentaries before, but never released them. So we'll see if this one makes it.
Lucky number 3. The first one was just a myriad of problems of timing, from what I remember, because we had NTSC and PAL going off, and everybody was just all over the place. Second time somebody fell asleep.
Really?
If I remember right. Anyway, so yeah, even though it's not technically a podcast and it's its own thing, I'm still going to be throwing this up on the podcast RSS feed anyway, just so more people see it. But yes, this is our first, if we release it, fan commentary. We're going to be doing
the best film.
Yes, about 6 months after I promised this to RidgeTop. We're doing it. We're doing a fan commentary of Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. It's not going to be a slagging fest, I promise, because that's going to get boring as fuck. So I have actually done a fair bit of prep for this. And I've got a lot of notes as to what I think people might find interesting or might be good talking points for us as we're watching this. We'll see. It could be boring as fuck for all I know. I don't know. We do also, if you heard it, have beer somewhere. I think that was RidgeTop putting his can down.
No, I got wine over here.
I thought I heard a can being put down in the background.
It might have been just my wine glass, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. We encourage the consumption of alcohol, like we are for this one. RidgeTop was thinking it might make us like the film more. I'm not sure. We'll see. Because if you're listening to this and you've never listened to any of the other stuff, RidgeTop is an unabashed lover of Requiem.
I am. I will always enjoy this film.
Soul Defender.
Oh, there's a couple out there. There's a few of you. Although, to be fair, I can't remember if we talked about this in the Predator episode, but the last time... No, I would have said this after watching this for the first time in ages. I found this an easier watch than the Predator.
Yep.
The last attempts to go through. But we'll crack on. So we're all watching this off of one source, but for you guys, depending on what format, what region you're watching this, the timings might be slightly off. We'll just roll with it, and hopefully it won't be too bad.
We'll give you a countdown to start, and then that's when you press play, and then the Fox logo should be like immediately after that.
Right, is everybody ready? Phones off and to the side, and this is to the listeners as well. Beer within reach.
My tiny bit of vodka is ready.
Just gonna pour myself a little bit more here.
Okay.
There we go.
I will even leave in the sound for added atmosphere. Okay, cool. In 3, 2, 1.
The non-Disney logo.
Yeah, it's gonna
that'll be changing soon as well.
20th Century Studios. Which will be weird.
It doesn't sound
as long as it keeps the fanfare.
Okay, you have to admit how like the music goes into like the intensity right there, just like Alien 3. Like,
yeah, but also
give it props for that.
Is the motion tracker.
I hate that. I think the motion tracker is just needless pandering.
Of course it is. I like it too.
False expectations. Thank you,
Eric.
As well.
Yeah, but
I like the title here. The Predator language turns into the logo.
Yeah.
I do like this title sequence, I agree.
I love the music. You know what? The soundtrack for the film.
Brian Tyler, you do good music, man. If you ever watch this, thank you for the score, because it was like a total amalgamation of all the themes in like the Alien Predator movies.
Mm. And it works well. It works really well, I think, as a best of in its own thing, more than I think necessarily the film works as a best of kind of thing.
Spaceship.
So I don't know if we mentioned this before for our viewers, but this is the unrated version, which has a different opening. And the opening for this has the Predator ship from the first AVP movie rather than a new scout ship.
Oh.
That we'll see shortly.
Yeah. This
is the sequence where they had extra budget and they reshot that Predalien birth, and it's not as good. They should have just used the Anderson one.
Yeah,
I do
love the shot of the mothership flying past Saturn. Like that's one of my favorite shots of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Do you wish they'd have kept it as the original Predator design ship, though?
What do you mean?
Well, in AVP, it was the original Predator ship docked in those little ports.
Yeah, but I mean, we only saw one side of the ship, and if you look, you can still see another one of the ships there, which is the original Predator ship.
That poor Predalien.
The one that detaches is the new one, but you can see another ship above it or below it or something, and that's the P1 ship.
Okay.
Here's where the facehuggers break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
When the camera moves past.
Hey, no, they're just calling out to the Predalien for help because he just passed by.
There
or she just passed by.
It
Chet.
Self-identifies.
And the space jockey skull before it was a helmet.
Yeah.
Before it was ruined. But we have this awesome skull wall. I love the queen above this. What did they call him? Bone grill or something?
Yeah, bone grill. Yeah.
Trophy.
Shame you don't really see the mask in this bit. It's a bit hard to see.
I know Sideshow Toys released like a full-scale mask of his. And then this Predator knows what's up. See, this part's weird. Where he just blasts the side of the wall right here. That's just like, what?
That first blast is what should have breached the hull.
Yeah.
That is a major editing.
See, I kind of just have to justify it in my head like, oh, a facehugger was coming up on him and he blasted or something. But
That's just stupid.
It's just stupid. Yeah. Bad editing there.
What I was going to say was it's weird the Predators are wearing masks in their own atmosphere.
Yeah, true. I didn't really think of that.
So the crash shot was pretty cool. These woods are obviously Canadian woods, not Colorado woods, but you just kind of have to go with it.
Yeah.
It looks like so many planets in Stargate.
This part moves a lot faster than I remembered it. I think this part needed time to breathe. It's not exactly like the Jordans coming up on the derelict.
Yeah, I remember before this movie came out, they released like the first 10 minutes, and it did move so fast that I was kind of worried about it. And I guess I should have been, considering the reaction most people had to the movie. But
wasn't that cloaked in some of the trailers as well, where you see
the ship was cloaked? Yeah, in one of the trailers.
Oh, little baby face hugger.
I do love that shot of them just scuttering out right there.
And if he'd hit his fucking self-destruct right there, right here, would have had no problems.
I know.
Well, I think he was going to. I think he was doing a distress call and then self-destruct because he had to let them know, hey, there's going to be a self-destruct here. Humans
that would
might
have
be
been
curious.
Pointless. If you're doing self-destruct, you don't need to SOS.
Maybe. I don't know.
Here we go. Sniping facehuggers.
360 no scope.
That actor who plays that child is probably 20s now?
2008? You know what, to be fair, I love any time these films actually show acid damage from the aliens. So I actually quite like this.
So this movie definitely, after the PG-13 of AVP, did the hard R rating like it was talking about. Not only in just graphic content, but just tone and fucked up things happening right here.
Well,
to be fair, that's not massively distasteful.
No, I mean that if anything, that arm dropping off him, he should have been gushing tons of blood to be realistic.
But I mean, later in the maternity ward and stuff,
Oh yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. That was here's the Predator colony or whatever it is meant to be.
So this is cool.
Yeah,
Predator over the head monitor.
Everyone likes this part. I'm pretty sure this was the AVP game from 2010 took that as inspiration for its introduction.
It did.
Some of the graphics.
Yeah.
So our first look at Wolf isn't even Ian White at this point. This was Ian Foyer in the suit.
I love this shot too, right here.
With the pyramid in the background as well.
And then you see the mothership docked right below it a little bit.
The Predator version of A Girl's Night Out.
Although, to be fair, if that were the Predator homeworld, wouldn't they be, like, constantly blind?
Yeah, that's what I've... If it's heat, that's what I've always maintained. They actually need to come from somewhere cool, because otherwise it's just... The ambient environment is just going to be like, where the hell am I walking?
I assume the planet has different environments. It's not just like... It's not like Mustafar or anything. It's not like a lava planet.
The exterior, the space shot made it look quite deserty.
Mm.
Haven't you seen that wall he picks all his stuff off of as well? Didn't you see that at ADI?
The what now?
The wall there he picks all his masks and equipment and stuff off of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I thought that was just the temple wall from the first AVP, though.
I keep wanting to call that sheriff Bryce because his name is Dallas Howard, which is a weird combination.
Yeah. What has he been in since this? I know he was in like a firefighter show. I know the guy who plays the cop has been in quite a few things.
Well, he was one of the big actors for this, wasn't he?
Think so.
Aaron with his IMDb over there.
Yeah, well, I'll mute my keyboards. Don't worry.
Here comes what's known as character building, but which
that was a nice humorous moment.
Nobody cares much about in this film.
I don't know, man. I cared more for the characters in this movie than I did the ones in Prometheus.
I actually quite like that little line there.
What was that?
The why are you hiring?
Well, that and the seeing him more than I'd like to kind of thing.
Gotta wear the hat.
I do hate Dallas as a name, and that opening exchange is a bit cringe as well. That Eddie.
You have to be very careful with homages.
You know, in the original script, Ricky is Ricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like some cool dude kind of thing who stood out because everybody else was a bit basic bitch.
Really?
Now he's the picked on guy.
Yeah, even though he's cool. So, I don't know. And this was originally set in Dallas. In
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. Not Dallas, sorry, in Texas.
Just somewhere.
The interior of Dallas.
Dallas would be a bit of a big city to nuke.
Oh, yeah.
And have not too many people notice. But I'm sure people notice a nuke going off in the US at the end of this. Like, didn't they say
Pretty
like
much.
They had plans for a sequel and there would have been like martial law or something?
Well, according to Greg Strauss, the sequel was going to be way in the future, so they wouldn't have dealt with that.
Yeah, I think Liam built off of the end. Liam O'Donnell built off the end of this and had a martial law thing going into place.
It's that guy from the Terminator film. Took my pants.
Okay. I will say...
The sting comes too early there. The sting comes before he drops it.
Yeah. This movie does have pretty solid cinematography, and I think it was by the guy that did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Was it? No, I think it was the original.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the remake, unless it was the same guy who did both.
Yeah, I could be mistaken, but I think it was the remake.
Hang on.
Which is something I liked when I heard that announced, but it's... I don't know, the cinematography isn't as good here as on the... If it was the remake, it is not as good here as...
No, he did both.
Did he?
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, so yeah, solid cinematographer. It's just they made it too dark, man. Like, in the theaters especially, like, watching this right now, it doesn't look too bad, but if you still put it side by side with the trailer was perfect, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the trailer was much... The red band one, yeah.
Yeah, they should have just stuck with the color grading in the trailer.
Well, me and Aaron, we've been trying to dredge around for this quote and we can't find it, but one of the Strauss brothers did apparently claim somewhere, I can't remember, but they had two work prints and one was released for one coast and one was released for the other coast, and that is why they said at the time, we don't know what people are saying it's too dark. It's because they saw the version as it was meant to be, and they said that the one that got on home media and international release was the one that Fox made way too dark. So, but I'm annoyed I can't find the quote.
She's a rich girl. Look at that house.
Did they just do the Halloween joke?
Yeah. Isn't Halloween in October? And if this takes place right after AVP, then it should be October. Yeah.
It's going to be a crossover with the Predator.
Yeah.
Weirdly, these kind of characters would have fitted into the Predator. Me rewatching it now after all these years, they kind of feel like similar in tone, all the characterization stuff.
I think.
Look at it.
I don't know.
I didn't get my pizza on time.
Okay, I will admit this drama is kind of dumb. Like he just delivered your pizza, dude. He gave you a little stupid line. It's high school. Like, come on.
Because he's got to be shown to be the school boy.
But I don't know. I don't know how teenagers are these days. Maybe they get in a fist fight over less than that. So.
Oh, dude! I threw your keys away.
Fight when I was a kid. So
go get your keys, homie. And there she is, pining after her.
I like you, girl. Why your boyfriend's such a dick?
This is like Dawson's Creek level.
Everyone always makes that comparison. I've never watched that show, but they're just like, oh, so AVP is Dawson's Creek now because there's teenagers in it.
But it was a similar sort of tone from what I remember at the time. Spooky Time Police.
So do you guys know about Johnny Lewis's whole story?
That he lost his mind and killed someone, and jumped off a roof?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the guy who played Ricky, it weren't long after the film, it was 2012, I think, him and his landlady were found dead.
Well, the one who played the pizza boy?
Yeah, the one who played the pizza boy, and apparently he'd sort of lost his mind and gone and killed her, and
holy crap.
Then killed himself. So
weirdly, he is sort of playing the kind of character where people say he was such a nice boy. That's dark, man. He is the tiny child.
So,
coughing.
I'll talk a little bit about the technique first before I ask this question. But the chest bursters, rather than ramming a pole through somebody's chest, the burst stuff's actually an inflatable, which I thought was an interesting, different technique for it, because traditionally it's just...
Well, it just inflates with gas.
Yeah, just up, and then you get your...
This one's CG right there.
Yeah, that one is.
Neither of these chest bursters do not, because they don't have the tendons on the side of the mouth. They look like little baby crocodiles.
I think they're the same mold as the Resurrection ones and AVP ones, for that matter.
I tell you what, I do like in the sewer later on when you see them coiling around. That is a beautiful shot.
That was a good shot.
But when they're just coming out of the chest, they look so fake.
Is the child burst tasteless though? Do you think that's a bit?
I mean, especially because it's not like the dog burster in Alien 3. It doesn't linger on it. It's sort of like it bursts and he's done. It's not...
Okay, I'm going to make an argument that, yes, it might be considered tasteless, and some of the other stuff in this movie, too, with the maternity ward. But to me, and this might just be like my fucked up taste in movies, like that plays to the movie's strength. Because I'm not taking this as seriously as the Alien franchise or even the Predator franchise. Like, for me... like the grindhouse style exploitation, small town alien invasion movies, like the Blob, right? Like the 80s Blob movie, that reminds me of this movie so much, where it's just this small town and then all this fucked up shit happens in the town. It kind of reminds me of Resident Evil too. Like the viral outbreak in Raccoon City is similar to this movie.
But I think you'd see, if people are going to think like Tremors and Eight-Legged Freaks, but
oh no,
I think they were,
it's not that far.
No, they were better. They were more engaging, I think, than this. These scenes like this, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the acting. It's just like the writing, what's going on. It just doesn't make you go.
Like another movie. Did you ever see 30 Days of Night, either of you?
Yes. I love that film.
That was the vampire one in the North Pole.
In Alaska, yeah. So that movie was really cool. And that kind of reminded me of this too, like small town, like
if this was like
invading
that,
alien force.
That would have been the perfect kind of tone if they'd have made it like that. But obviously, I'm pretty sure 30 Days of Night had a much bigger budget. And also a much longer shooting schedule. That was the other problem with this film. They just had the time to do like maybe 1 or 2 reshoots for a single scene, and they had to hurriedly move along. They just didn't have time to reshoot.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's a cool shot near the end of 30 Days of Night where you see like a big icebreaker, and that always kind of reminds me of AVP, that shot.
Because of the Piper mail room.
Wasn't that Paul Anderson's favourite shot of AVP, that icebreaker with the helicopter?
I don't know. You know, it's a shame, and I say this every time there's an alien in a friggin' jungle, but it's a shame we didn't get a hived-up jungle.
I know. That's one of the things I was hoping to see when it got released, because we were seeing those shots of woods, and I thought, oh, that could be...
Yeah, I mean, it's Colorado. It's going to be woods and forest, not jungle.
Well, it's
basically like Endor, basically, like Ewokless Endor.
Although the sewer is actually a pretty cool alien locale.
Yes.
I mean, Peter Briggs as AVP had a cool sequence in the sewer, if I remember.
Yeah, and like I said during our one of our Let's Plays, like it's a very common location that's been in like AVP 2010. It was in Colonial Marines. It was in the game for this. Oh, and the comics too. Like AVP Eternal, the hive was in the sewers.
This is such a weird reaction from that female character. She sees like an alien organism on someone's face, and she just goes, "Harry," and she's not.
Well, that was before she saw it. She screams
saw
when she...
it, and she just like looked at him as though he's come down with a flu.
I hate the bitch slap.
I do too.
Hey, at least it's not any worse than Alien Resurrection where they tear it apart.
Yeah, but I don't like it in that either.
That was intelligence. No, I like it in Resurrection because I think it works to their advantage.
I don't mind the bitch slap. It's just like, get out of the way. I got plans for this one. Like, I don't think it was being vicious towards the other one.
Predator Taxi.
But it's so ungainly. It's like Frankenstein going, no. It doesn't feel like...
Okay, this bit is cool. The crash pod in the lake and the Predator coming out of the lake with his cloaking device shorting out. Like, this was a cool shot.
I wonder if this was inspired by Jason.
This was green screen. And well, not necessarily this bit, but the moment when it comes out.
Yeah, and this was shot during the day when he comes out of the lake.
Yeah, this moment here, that's in front of a green screen.
Well, it would have had to have been, wouldn't it?
I mean, I can't tell.
This is where fandom fell in love with Wolf, but I didn't.
To be fair, is a massively cool design and very much a step up over the AVP one.
Wolf remains one of my favorite Predators, like right up there with Ahab.
But it's so incompetent at its job.
But as a concept, then, do you think the idea of a predator that goes around cleaning up other predators' mistakes is in? Because I think the idea of Wolf as a cleaner is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yes, the film lets him down by making him look like an idiot at times.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with the aliens, too. Sometimes the alien warriors are just slowly creeping forward and standing around. So,
which diminishes his coolness.
My problem with that is if you're going to have a cleaner element, it needs to be a team.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to deny this movie has its problems. I love it regardless.
Although this moment is really nice. I love when he
show of respect.
The main problem with Wolf as just a plot element is that it automatically makes the audience know that every single encounter it is going to emerge victorious. There's no way when it's got one single predator, it has to survive to the end. And it takes away a lot of the potential tension.
It does.
But this is the first time since Predator 2 we had seen one primary predator. So I didn't mind that, especially considering he was like an elite one.
But they had it in AVP. You just have the leader of it, or one who takes over from the leader if the leader dies. You don't have to have just one lone predator acting in isolation.
You kind of have to think as well, at the start when you see Wolf getting the initial phone call, there's all these other
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, well, there's all the other template looking places. Is that like Predator Cleaner Street, and they're all everybody's officers? And Wolf's just like, you know what, I'm gonna do this one on my own. I need the bonus.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know how bad it was because he just saw the Pred alien there, and this is where he arms up. Yeah, in this cut.
But see, the thing is, with predators, if predators fuck up, it's got to be a pretty damn big threat to be dealing with.
But yeah, I just thought of that, Aaron, because he sees the Pred alien before he leaves the planet in the theatrical cut, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this one, he has to put on the other Predator's mask, which makes more sense why he would come alone if he didn't realize there was a Pred alien threat.
See, this is the point. It already had water in that little jug thing before he drained it out of the test tube.
This whole sequence I love. I really do. I mean, I love the idea of the tracking fluid. I love him arming up with what else he finds around him, because he does show a bit of smarts about him at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the theatrical cut, it's kind of stupid. I did wonder why they bothered having them in the...
God, I love this score. Brian Tyler, you're so good.
Why they bothered taking them out the eggs and putting them in those containers anyway at the start.
Yeah, it does. I think it was basically a homage to Aliens where you see them in the stasis tubes, but you're right. They should have just kept them in eggs. There was no...
Although I did really like the design of those containers.
I will say, though, if they ever make an AVP3, which I think is much more likely now given the last Alien and Predator movies that came out, the composer should be Mick Gordon, who did the Doom games, which is not like his only forte. He doesn't only do hardcore electro metal. He did the Wolfenstein soundtracks also, which were incredible. He does good shit. So have it done by Mick Gordon and have it directed by Studio ADI, and it would be so good. At least so good for me. But
I think it should be the guy who did the music for the AVP Classic game.
Rich Ragsdale? Is he still composing?
I don't know if he's still doing it, but that game did it was sort of like original music, but it got the ideal balance between the Alien and Predator music. And it's very difficult to... You'll usually find a composer who can do one or the other, but not necessarily an ideal fusion.
To be fair, I think Brian Tyler did a really good job melding them on this one, and I think he's still doing stuff, and he's pretty big nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, just have Brian Tyler do it again, too, but it would be cool to switch it up. I will say Harold Kloiser's score for the original AVP was decent enough. It had some good motifs, but...
Hanging Bodies, I think, was a good one from that. I always had a soft spot for Down the Tunnel as well.
Yeah. It was very original, but it didn't have the Alien and Predator feel that this score did.
Yeah.
No, because this one reuses the movements
I
and the motifs.
I don't feel this one is original. You get a lot from the planets in here. It's like it takes bits and pieces from everywhere else without giving itself its own identity.
There's some tracks like the last one, the climax one. What's that called again, Aaron?
Oh, I don't know.
Who cares that much?
No, I really like AVPR's soundtrack. I do, but I don't know them all off by hand. And so this is an added scene as well. And this was very different to the original script, because where here it's sort of like her reconnecting with Molly. In the original script, it was these two dealing with breaking up kind of thing.
Decimation Proclamation. That's the name of the climactic track.
So they completely changed the family dynamic in the actual finished film. Is her arc too Ripley-ish, do you think?
I never got that. I mean, whenever you have a female protagonist in an Alien movie, she's always going to be compared to Ripley. But
I mean, more in terms of the maternal stuff and sort of like trying to reclaim a daughter kind of thing.
I mean, it is actually her daughter. I think it's a different dynamic because it is her daughter and you're like obligated to love your family, right? But if your parent hasn't been there in your youth, then I think it's a different dynamic to Ripley where like she actually lost her daughter and then this new girl comes into her life. It's
not just the daughter. I think people seized on that mainly because it's not just that she's got like a screaming little girl she's look after, like Newt, but she's also got that scene where she's driving an APC around. And I think when you get those two strong things that people associate so much with Ripley, you're going to get comparisons.
It's a little unfair, I think, in terms of, that she is a military woman in this.
Yeah, I think she's like a different character, but I mean, I can understand why people drew those comparisons.
I actually quite liked I think it's Rico Aylesworth is the actress's name. I quite liked her.
There's nothing wrong with any of the performances. It's just like there's nothing particularly compelling about any of the characters in general.
Yeah, they work a day, aren't they? And while Aliens got the blue collar kind of thing, they're still fucking space truckers at the end of the day. They're not waitresses.
Yeah, well, that's what the Strauss brothers kept saying shortly before the release when people were saying, "Oh, it's set on the town," and they were saying, "Well, what is Alien?" It was basically truckers in space, which is true. But I mean, with Alien and Aliens, you get that sort of like slow burn for almost an hour before anything happens. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with I mean, in Aliens, Cameron had that sort of brainwave of doing that fake out chestburster dream near the start, so that sort of like breaks that up. But you still had that stuff where it's like her personal struggle to get back into things, and there's nothing like that here. It just goes straight into the Predator.
It seems like Stephen Pascal and Rico Aylesworth were definitely more TV actors. I'm just looking at their filmographies right now.
Well, Dallas was as well.
Yeah, Stephen Pascal played Dallas.
That is a really good shot.
There you go. That.
Yeah, that's the trailer shot right there.
It's so a lot brighter in the trailer.
Yeah, it is.
It makes me laugh here when they chicken shit out and escape because they're going out where he didn't want to come in the first place.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the shed skin moment here, a little homage to the first Alien.
But think about this. You're in a sewer. That's going to be like used condoms or something. Why would he be... I mean, we know it's chestburster skin, but if a normal person, they just like go, oh, God, I'm not going anywhere near.
All right, where we at our booze, gentlemen? You guys have some catching up to do, I think.
Yeah, I'm on my second bottle.
On your second bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, just a regular sized bottle of beer.
Yeah.
I'm having me some Pinot Grigio. I don't usually drink this early in the day, but when I do, white wine is a good choice, in my opinion.
It's Julianne
I'm
Moore.
On Asahi over here.
Oh, the Japanese beer?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
That's a good one. Orion's another good Japanese beer. Kirin. The Japanese make good beer, man.
They do. They really do. I think this is my favourite beer.
Here's the first sort of part where the Predator's motivations don't make much sense, where he's trying to keep everyone...
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'll give
you that, but I do have a justification for it in my head.
They apparently did. We talked about this with Liam, and when I was watching all the behind the scenes stuff, they kind of talked about it a little bit there as well. I think it was in the commentary with the brothers, but their justification of it was that Wolf wasn't there to not be detected himself. He was just there to get rid of all... Oh, pardon me, I'm burping. He was just there to get rid of all the evidence of the alien, and he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, but what's the point of doing that classic "this is my territory" type thing when it's got a job to do, which is nothing to do with just hunting for fun?
I don't think it was doing that. It didn't expect to get spotted because it was more focused on the aliens there. And once it did, it killed the human. And it was like, well, the humans are obviously looking for something. Like, it didn't know if the humans had seen the aliens. So I think it hanged the body and skinned the body to distract the humans from finding the aliens.
I still think it's stupid.
That's going to make the human population take notice. It's going to make them bring in... Like it does. They call in the National Guard.
Right. They take notice on that rather than the aliens. And they don't call in the National Guard because of that.
Yeah, but this whole thing should be like to keep the alert level not raised.
Down. Yes.
Because it's putting itself at risk. It's putting its own job at risk by increasing alarm.
I understand the justification, but I don't agree with it.
It seems like John Ortiz had gone on to do more in movies than the other actors. Like, he was in Cloverfield Paradox, which is where I remember seeing him last. Actually, no, Ad Astra. I remember seeing him in that. He was in that, and Bumblebee, Kong Skull Island.
God, I really
Here's
don't
the
remember
crazy blue stuff that it could have used as a weapon but doesn't.
Fast and Furious 6 he was in.
That's kind of interesting, the blue stuff is.
I really dig that, yeah. Especially in the game, too, how they made it a mechanic.
Well, it didn't make any
PSP
sense the way that Colin explained what it is. You just said it's basically a very strong alkaline, but alkaline would neutralize acid, it wouldn't
melt the creature.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah. Especially, I mean, it's melting humans as well.
Dude, it's an alien chemical. Like, even in Predator 2, we're like, this is a metal we've never seen before.
It could just use it as a weapon, and it doesn't. It just and it's going there to stop.
It does later on.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going there to stop an entire potential infestation, and he takes like 5 vials of this stuff. It's not.
Hey, man, at least we're not on a prison bus listening to your mama jokes right now.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
The loonies are fun. Leave them alone. Though, to be fair, I don't think he realizes... He doesn't... At this point, he doesn't realise the extent of the...
no, but he knows what aliens are like. He knows what they're capable.
Yeah, but he doesn't know they're a queen. There's... Well,
no, but
not a queen. At most,
could have, but he knows face huggers have been released from the ship, and he knows there's potentially quite a lot of them. So it's just weird that he just doesn't carry many of those vials around.
So also, both this movie and The Predator were shot in Vancouver, which Vancouver is a very popular filming location, I guess because of tax breaks and stuff like that. But it's very versatile, too. Like, if you're looking for generic foresty town,
well, the X-Files,
it does the job.
For everything.
Yeah, Stargate was shot up there as well.
Do you know what this waitress, her official character name is? It's just Pregnant Sue. Pregnant Sue.
It's not.
No, it's not Pregnant Woman in the credits.
Pregnant Sue, she got called in one interview.
What?
Yeah.
In that, no, that's not DOS. Yeah, that's not DOS, is it? That's...
I'm pretty sure her name is Pregnant Sue, just because they call her.
No, that's probably one of the hospital people. There is way too many human characters in this. That's the problem.
See, that's the risk, because a lot of people say, let's do a Hadley's Hope film, but I mean, if they did that, it would have...
It is Pregnant Sue. Holy shit, that's her credited name. It's Pregnant Sue.
Pregnant Sue.
God.
Hi, Pregnant Sue!
Did they have that printed on her chair?
I guess so.
Funny.
It's Pregnant Sue.
Oh man.
But going back to the going back to when Wolf skinned that dude, I always loved that eye flash with the cloak. I think that was always cool.
And I like how he notices the blood there on the moss and slowly looks up. Like, this is a cool shot.
I still wish
well, especially with the music, like it rises in that Predator. Well, it's basically the same bit of music that they used when they saw what was it, the first the body of the team and like
Well, it's not like Hopper's music.
It's one of their own team, and you sort of heard that.
Oh, you mean when Hawkins is?
Yeah, I think.
No, did they see Hawkins as? No, they don't.
No,
see
but they
Hawkins
talk
as body.
about they see. He couldn't tell because there's bits and pieces.
They got a creepy coroner and a creepy cook in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the cook is a proper creep.
He's after pregnant Sue. He's got a fetish. Clearly.
Well, that they originally wanted. Well, I say originally. They briefly thought about trying to get Bill Paxton to do that role.
What, the cook?
The cook, yeah.
Why?
Oh man, that would have been something. I guess if you're a coroner, you got to be a little creepy by default for that kind of a job.
No, not the coroner. I mean, he would be the cook,
right?
Yeah.
So fandom would have had to make up this whole elaborate theory where he had like
his ancestor was a cook.
His ancestor was a cop in LA, and then like his brother was a cook in. It's like whenever a character with Bill Paxton's face is, there's going to be chaos.
So people like they'll do that in their headcanon with his Predator 2 character, right? That he was actually an ancestor of Hudson.
Yeah. And how many times does the Predator just seem to jump into a shot?
No.
I noticed that so much in this film.
He didn't jump in the shot. It showed him standing on the ledge and he jumped into the water.
I mean, going back a little bit to when the sequence starts.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But that was, I don't know.
No, they were going to have was it Adam Baldwin in this as well, reprising his Predator 2 character.
Yeah, they wanted.
Yeah, and they said we tried to get him on the telephone, and they wouldn't say what he said, but he obviously just swore at them.
He refused, and they were surprised. Yeah, I'm like, dude,
he was doing like Firefly and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
He was a pretty cool guy by that point.
Yeah,
I like seeing the skeleton in the hive, but I don't think would it really show up in the vision like that.
What if it's just a cadaver? No.
Predator vision's always been weird for me. I like to go by the games that they can switch, and they're much more detailed than they were in the first Predator movie. You know, you look at me that same way, Clarence.
Hey, girl.
The clock's behind you.
I think she's a hot girl.
You know what? It's cringe as hell, but I actually love the bit later on when she does the ear. Tell me, you're looking at me or the clock.
And then they just have the camera like right on her ass, and I'm like, this would not fly today.
It's proper fucking male gaze.
This was the opening of the one trailer, like that population trailer where they had the guitar music and shit. Like,
well, they used this shot quite a few times, I think.
I will say the musical track on that, the swimming pool scene where it goes into the aliens swimming along, that's probably my favourite track out of the soundtrack for this film.
I still want to actually go to Gunnison, Colorado. Like the last time I was in Denver, I'm like, this would take like a day of driving to get there and back.
We should do a whole conspiracy theory video on that. It's still here. The government's hidden it out.
Is Gunnison a real place?
Yeah. It's a real small like ski town in Colorado.
Okay,
that's another reason why I feel like I can relate to this movie is because I've lived in towns like this in Utah, and Utah, like
Canada,
environmentally speaking, like very mountains, very foresty, like it's very similar to Colorado. So
I fucking love these laser mines.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
You know what? This could have been a genuinely like they originally planned it, because the bit we all hate. Too.
His like map vision there.
Well, it's trying to make Killzone and knock everything off, isn't it? I mean, this was originally planned as like a scene to demonstrate Wolf being super smart and everything, but then Fox forced them to go hand to hand because it was all going to be like him keeping range like he should.
Yes,
I love this shot. I love the alien creeping above right there in the pipes.
Like you kind of think he would have seen that one bit.
Well, this is all clearly meant to be evocative of the aliens' nest scene, but without the tension of the music, unfortunately.
I like how he roars here to bring him out.
This shot of the alien just raising out the water, that was quite good.
I'm proud of you guys. You guys are actually giving this movie some props.
I hate the sound effect, though. I hate that.
I didn't mind it. It was kind of cool. I love this too, like how he runs right here and he grabs the tail. It's only this shot right here that I know you guys are going to hate when he grabs both of them.
Well, come on. Everybody in the world has to hate this shot.
It's not hating it. It's just... Yeah, it's coming up in a moment.
Yep, this is the one.
Yeah.
It's just like these two aliens don't do anything. They're just flailing in midair, not bothering to... Like, one of them should be a big deal to hold on to, and it's just...
The tails and the legs and the arms.
I do like this when he crawls through the grate there and up through the sewer. Like, you don't see very many CG aliens in this movie. It's only like a few shots, really. But the ones you do, Hydraulics did a good job.
The Pred alien in this is just such a little bitch. He's like, oh, I'm going to get you now. I'm going to run away now.
Hydraulics did the CG for the Predator, right?
Hulk smash!
They did the Predator killer.
Did they do the ship, too? Or just the Predator killer?
I don't know. I think it was just the killer. What do you think of the power glove? Is that...
That's a cool concept. I dig it. And, like, they show concept art in the Studio 80i book.
I don't see
for like his power punch.
He could have just shot up through the... he's got an energy weapon there. He doesn't need a Japanese anime type thing. You're right, pregnancy.
You're right. You're right there, girl.
Hey, pregnancy.
Put my hand on your shoulder.
Me and the wife are into that stuff.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
It's just
what he says right here, how he looks at her, he's like, I'll see you in the morning. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Sexual harassment claims.
Like what is it? Like it focuses on his stare right there.
He's all but looking at her ass as she... Chris Hansen's come after him now.
Can you imagine Bill Paxton doing that?
He would have made it way more subtle.
I hate that made it into the film as well.
You can't even tell what it is. I hate what it is, but you can't tell. At least we didn't see the skinned predators.
I know.
Little Alien 3 homage here.
Yeah, it's clearly meant to be.
Chet isn't even here. This is all green screen after the fact as well.
It works. I couldn't tell.
No, not at all. I just think it's... Apparently, there was originally going to be... Chet had like a POV mode where he could look into the bodies and see the fetuses, and that's when he was deliberately was deliberately targeting specific hosts.
I would have liked that, but that would have felt distasteful.
No,
for sure.
It wouldn't have flowed with canon with what we saw in Alien 3, but I never thought the Alien 3 vision mode was... It was very underwhelming, that was, so... I wouldn't have minded an augmented thing.
How the sheriff here is like he was skinned alive, and then...
Well, they always say that in the Predator films.
The look at Dallas does right here, where he just like moves his head really quickly, is kind of like oh shit, something's up here.
Buddy. It's a very small town name, that Buddy.
I will say it is an interesting dynamic to have these old friends, and one of them is an ex-con, and one of them's a cop. Like,
oh, it makes you wonder if he was
the one that arrested him, or
if he knows that he took the rap for his brother and that he didn't actually do whatever it was.
Oh.
So
where did they talk about that? I didn't remember that because I thought he was like. Because their parents aren't around, and I always thought it was something like he was doing a robbery to cover medical expenses or something. I don't know, but
it was in something. I might be thinking of something from one of the scripts, but
and this guy was only in the unrated cut. This is Dale's father. Yeah. Oh wait, no, he was briefly with the search party.
We see this in the theatrical cut, but we don't see the search party bit in the normal cut.
Yeah.
So this is all in the theatrical.
This is a good head bite, though, just like from a practical effects standpoint.
I think a power plant's another good locale. Very alien feel.
Yeah. You get to explore a lot in the game.
This is cool as well. I like the stuff of Wolf jumping around.
See, the film doesn't explain why the aliens went directly to a relatively, nobody's there.
Well, the hive of the sewer is compromised, so they're looking for a new hive location.
Yeah,
the power plant
where there's nobody. You'd think they'd gone directly for the houses and stuff.
Oh, you're thinking this guy? He wasn't in the theatrical cut.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I was confused there.
This is Tom McBeath, who I love because he's in is a pretty I wouldn't say major, recurring character in Stargate.
Oh, and isn't he the same character in the graveyard scene that gets killed? Okay.
But in terms of going for the power plant, I assume it's a warmth thing because they seem to hint in Aliens that they like the warmth. So I assume
maybe, yeah. But they still seem like in hunting mode, right?
We're teenagers. Our hormones are raging. I will say, okay, props where it is due. Pouring myself some more wine here. The teenagers in this movie actually passed for teenagers. I don't know if they were probably over 18.
They were.
They look like people in their 20s to me, these people.
Like, look at Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, right? Like, they all look like mid-20s in the high school.
So do these. To me, these don't look like teenagers. These look like...
They could pass. They could pass for teenagers in my book.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
I love that line. I know it's terrible, but I love it. And I'm really glad they changed this from the original script as well, because I quite like she's there as a trick to lure him there, so these guys can come in and beat the shit out of him.
Oh, what a bitch! Yeah, that would suck. I like for this movie, I have the thought of like they saw his car pull up into the parking lot and noticed her car was there, and they just happened to be there.
So you're right; it just lingers on her rear end for no reason.
Ugh.
This guy has got some serious latent issues.
I will say in the trailer when it shows the aliens swimming in the pool water there, like I didn't think it was a pool in the trailer. Like I thought they were swimming out in a lake or something. But
did you guys ever pick up on this? The interference in the vision mode?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never noticed it until I was listening to the commentary.
Yeah, it's meant to be showing its age, isn't it?
No, it's supposed to be the EMP interference of the plant or some bollocks. But
you see it earlier on before it gets here. It's like a creaky old Predator vision mode.
So this is the only time a warrior injures the Predator. But it is a pretty severe injury. So
I like that as well. I like that the aliens are sneaky at times.
Mm-hmm. I like this scanner thing here.
Yeah. Well, this is like when Dutch through the rock, isn't it?
Yeah. When talked about the dual shoulder cannons, I fucking love them.
Oh, me too, yeah.
The what one?
The dual shoulder cannons.
Oh, just the concept. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Wolf fucked up again.
We still haven't seen dual wrist blades in a movie. They've only been in the games.
Yeah, which is weird, because you'd think it just stands to reason they'd use both arms, but...
I was always disappointed we never got to see those arm scythes actually get used.
What, in the first film?
Yeah.
I agree.
I do really like the alien in the water here, though, because this is the first time we had seen this since Resurrection. And even though it's brief, like...
It's nowhere near as good as Resurrection, though.
No. Well, it's not. It's more chaotic. You can't really...
Well, you can't see anything, really, at this point. But then again, I think it was overlit in the trailer.
I just kind of like how in Resurrection, like, they did do tests with the practical suits in the water, but it ended up being all CG. But in this one, there's one shot where it is a practical suit in the water. Or a couple quick shots.
Well, yeah, because it's only at the surface, though, isn't it?
Well, the problem is they are rubber suits, and you put them in water, and they just clog like no one's business.
I'd have left that guy. I wouldn't have bothered trying to save him.
That's a good blood splat right there too. But no, you do see a shot from under the water really quickly when it first gets in the pool of the practical suit.
Was that a suit or a puppet then? Because you mean you could do it with either?
It was the suit.
But
yeah, to your point, Eric, they did all get bogged down. It was a big problem in the sewer scene.
Yeah.
And on the rooftop of the hospital.
Yeah. I got it. It is something with big latex.
I hate this. I don't like this shot. I think the suit looks awful in the vision mode.
Okay, you're right. I will say they could have done this scene better because I like what comes up, the whole see no monster thing. But I think they should have done it more mysterious, where she just notices a black shape by the window or something.
Yes,
you could have done it in a much better way. But I do like this bit here where he shines the light in the window.
Well, this is clearly Newt with this whole are they real monsters sort of thing. This is very.
What do we think of the child actor here compared to the one in The Predator or in Aliens? Obviously, you can't beat Aliens, but compare it to The Predator.
I mean, they're both serviceable. There's nothing really, but they're not really given anything dramatic to do. There's no real dramatic. I think in The Predator, the child actor had that whole thing with the school bullies and stuff. There's that, but I mean,
she doesn't have a great deal.
No, in here, the daughter doesn't have much to do aside from point and scream.
Yeah. When this came out, I used to work at the cinema, so I used to get free tickets. And it was at that point where I'd just go and watch this when I had half hour or something to do. I
hate how the alien is taken unawares by this.
He was busy eating.
Yeah, but it should have the Predator should have thought it had the upper hand, and then the alien world, and they could have had this whole confrontation between them.
Also, I gotta say, Ian White's performance is just so good.
Top notch, yeah.
Because you could tell he was a little bogged down by the bulky suits in the first AVP, so this movie he really had the freedom to move around.
Yeah, no, he emulates the original actor so well in this film.
It's a shame Ian White never came back for they didn't ask him back for any of the others.
Yeah.
I know. Well, he got to do Prometheus, which is good, but he really needs to play a Predator again.
Aaron, what were you saying? You used to get free ticket?
So I used to get a free ticket, so I saw this more than I would care to admit at the cinema. But there's one that I always remember, and it's when the film had a problem in the scene when the alien jumps through the window. And it started looping, and it was constantly looping on her going, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy."
Oh, really?
That's awesome.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I saw this movie a lot in theaters. This one in the first AVP, I think I saw more than any of the others.
I only saw AVP twice. I saw this one probably about 4 times.
I saw Predators 5 times.
All the others I've seen 3 times.
Yeah. I think it was about the same for me.
But yeah, Eric, I think you were totally right. In as much as I kind of like it being impaled, there should have been more of a noticing and struggling thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind sometimes you just have the quick kills, one of them catches the other off guard. Kind of like in the first AVP with the Shuriken where it just slices its face off. Once in a while,
I love that.
It's cool to have a kill like that where it just one catches the other totally by surprise.
The alien, that one, it knew where the Predator was. It was trying to creep up on it and the Predator countered its ambush. That's fine. But it's when it's if anything, the alien should be shown to have, when it gets to close quarters, it's got the advantage in the sensory and all the rest of it.
I don't disagree with you at all.
It's just an excuse for another,
a death of an alien.
A proper fight. That's the problem with both of these films, that we never really have that. Every single confrontation should be once they close quarters,
should be impactful.
It should be every single one something that a human would never survive even 5 seconds in.
The survivor should come out of it with some damage.
Yeah, they should.
So, yeah, the cinematographer, Daniel Pearl, more recently he did the movie The Boy, which was actually, for a horror movie, it was really good. Have either of you seen that one?
I have.
No.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. He did Pathfinder. I haven't seen that movie in ages.
Oh,
the one with
Urban, Carl Urban.
Yeah, Carl Urban. Yeah.
I like that one.
Belly bursters are very fast acting as well.
Hey, at least it's not as fast as Covenant.
I think it's faster than Covenant.
I just noticed she didn't even wake up for that one, which is unusual.
Well, that scene is only in the unrated cut.
I hate the belly bursters. I fucking hate them.
Bye,
so
pregnancy.
much. Originally, it was that whole mouth fucking thing was given to the normal adult aliens.
Yes.
And I remember, like, Greg and Colin, they would both have their own theories, even though it was purposefully ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like, Greg was like, well, we don't know how predators reproduce, and this could be like a trait from them. And I'm like, that's fucking weird, like, to think of predators reproducing like that. And then Colin was like, no, this is what happens with a baby queen before she's old enough to have an ovipositor or whatever.
That's
and then,
worse.
No, I can kind of go with that. Like,
well, no, because the mouth fucking is way more
efficient.
Yeah.
Why would she turn into laying eggs?
That's true.
And do that?
But it's a younger queen that's like, I don't know. Like,
she's going her own way, man.
I can justify it. It's part of the molting process when an alpha is molting into a queen.
No,
like for me, like Grid 6 from
the game.
AVP 2010, like, probably could have done that when it was naturally, like, the hive mind somehow decides which warrior is going to become the next queen or something. I don't know, but
absolute bullshit. I mean,
it doesn't make biological sense.
I would give it more leeway if it was a predator inherited thing, but it still seems daft. I mean,
here's the thing, though. Weirdly, before Prometheus came out, I was on the side to say it doesn't make biological sense. And since Prometheus, because we don't know the link with the black ooze, which literally makes up anything do whatever the hell it wants, it actually has the weird retrospective effect of making AVPR slightly more plausible.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that was kind of what I was going to bring up, because if you think back to Gibson's Alien 3...
Okay, real quick. Let me interject here. A couple things. This scene is awesome. This is only in the unrated cut when it just blasts his head off right there. And we missed it, but on one of the tombstones it had Hawkins. Yeah, which, I mean, whatever. Hee. Cool little Easter egg there, but no one's going to notice it except for us. So, but I do like this bit here where it shines the laser on his weapon and then she, like, doesn't reach for it.
Yeah, that is.
But she's not stupid. Yeah, she's not stupid.
Also, she's a soldier, so she would have more chance of understanding that for what it is.
And I love this shot here where he stands up and it starts raining with the lightning strike. Like, that's so good.
In ADI, going back to chat, in ADI's making of book, they had some alternate ideas for the predator in life cycle.
They were crazy.
Yeah, it uses its tail to inject an acid that carries its DNA material.
On sheep, wasn't it? They were going to have loads of sheep with amniotic sacs.
Creating an acid-filled amniotic sac. Host organism's birth sac immediately swells and splits. New hybrid pred-alien emerges.
It's turning them into the Tyranids from Warhammer.
Yeah. See, that's always the hard thing with aliens is... You want to expand the lore, so you're doing new things, but you can fall into the trap of, we always need the bigger, badder thing. And that's what the last couple Predator movies, like Predators, did it once, and like, okay, once it worked well, but you can't keep doing that. It just doesn't work indefinitely. And it's the problem.
I love that line.
You're too stupid to talk. Shut up. Yeah, that is a good line.
I think that's so often in my day-to-day.
What was it?
Shut up, Dale. You're too stupid to talk.
Too stupid to talk.
See, whatever we think of the implementation of the Pred Alien, people have to realise that originally the Pred Alien was only in for like 5 minutes right at the start, and then it just wasn't in the rest of the story, which...
Well, that was a disappointment for the first film as well. You know, the Pred Alien only shows up at the end of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see why that's, you know, sequel bait. But in a story which starts off that way and you just don't have it in the rest of the film at all, that would have been very weird.
I think it's more the point of you get an AVP film, you're gonna fucking expect a Pred Alien.
You should, yeah.
So
here comes the National Guard.
It was a great change to make it prominent, but yeah, the design didn't work for me. But we'll talk about that after this because I fucking hate this scene. I hate it.
I like the scene. It was just too damn short. But this is what, like, some of the first leaked set photos we saw, right? Was the APC in the streets here.
My problem with this is just it's so poorly choreographed.
Yes.
Like, there's a shot later on where the guy looks at a fucking window, walks up to a car window, and then an alien just stands up.
Hey, guys.
It just shows how quiet and sneaky the aliens are, man. I dig that bit.
This poor.
But well, they're trying to emulate the aliens scene.
They are.
But it's not the least bit realistic like that was.
I love this though when it gets grabbed right here. Like that. That was good. And his gun just falls on the ground.
You notice he just throws it at the ground. He doesn't. You would have, if that was like in Aliens, he would have fired off shots and it would have started to get chaotic at that point.
No, man, he just got grabbed so quick and so forcefully that gun flew out.
It's this one here.
This shot is a little extended in the unrated cut because you see like the head bite go through the glass.
Well, isn't this like that shot in Alien 3 where I think Pete Postlethwaite's character sort of like looks at the alien after he's looking through a glass in a drawer, and the alien's just
the head bites the. No, my problem with that's more it's just appearing out of frame.
Yeah, this scene was too short for me because I actually dig this battle. I just think it was too quick. And
they didn't plan it out, basically. They just wanted some cool-looking shots. And that was...
Yeah. I like that shot with the red glow on the alien.
Yeah. Look at him looking at it.
I gotta say, man, like...
There's no reaction with that character. He just stares at it.
I know Fox or 20th Century Studios, whatever, is like... hesitant to do anything with AVP now, but I so wish that they would release the last one and this one in 4K because we still haven't got a 4K Blu-ray of the last one or this one, and do like new color correction, brighten it up a bit, add the extra scenes with the two other kids that were supposed to be in the movie, and like the scene with Kelly on top of the APC with the mounted gun, like some of the stuff we saw in the trailers that didn't make it in the movie. Just extend it out a little bit. And I think maybe not quite as much as Alien 3 with the assembly cut, but just a little bit. No, the reputation of this movie would go up just a little bit. If you fix the darkness, because what's the first thing everyone says about this movie? Oh, I couldn't see anything. Like,
I'm so fucking bored of that joke. I'm so bored of it. You know that meme with the guy holding the book looking at a butterfly? Where it's always like... what's the best? Is this a such and such relevant to the fandom?
I don't know what that means.
I haven't seen that one.
I sent you a version I did where it was like something remote.
Oh, I know what you're talking about with the anime guy.
Yeah,
holding up the butterfly. Yeah, okay.
I know the one. Yeah.
You could fucking do that with this, where it's just a black box and it's somebody going, "Is this AVP Requiem?"
Okay, I also have to say the hospital is an awesome location because, again, I'm going to take it back to Resident Evil in Raccoon City. Like, there was a hospital location in Resident Evil 3 on PS1, which Resident Evil 3 is also getting a remake, and I'm so fucking stoked about it, and it looks great. So, like...
Go play Resident Evil, let me have sci-fi settings!
I want to know how those people were like... If an alien or predator kills someone, there's not going to be anything left of them to get to hospital.
I remember seeing this with my friend in my late teen years, and he was, I don't know, he was a little more religious than I was at the time. And he was like, "What? Are those babies?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "What's going to happen?" And I was like, "Probably the same thing that happens to everybody else." Yeah. He was like so offended. Like, it's just a fucking movie, dude. Come on.
I thought it was blasphemous. Because I can see some people thinking that. But I mean, if you're going in to watch an Alien and Predator film, it's not going to be pleasant.
The frontal shots of Chet show perfectly demonstrate why I hate the design so much.
Oh, I love Chet. I do think it was perfected in 2010, but
it's the dreadlocks. They completely ruin the flow of the head, and it's just a busy mess from front on.
I dig it.
No,
I love this shot right here too, where her heart rate goes up as it starts to creep forward. And you don't like that. No, you don't like that.
What? Oh, Aaron.
Is that your cat?
All right, I'm making good progress on this bottle of wine here. How about you guys?
Mine are dead.
You're dead? You don't have any left?
No.
You guys are leaving me hanging now?
So talking about the baby, I don't have a problem with that because I think, like one of the brothers said, it's like with Lambert in Alien, you're gonna see some nasty biological reproduction. But my problem was it doesn't fit with continuity. But in terms of a scene, I thought, yeah, it fits with the alien's motivation because it's basically a space rapist, and it's not going to care about babies or anything. It doesn't mean you have to be gratuitous about it, but I always thought the dog burster scene in Alien 3 was way more gratuitous than anything in this.
Hey, you're going to fall off the computer. Come on. Come here.
See, I always liked the dog burster. I thought it worked.
Yeah, it worked, but it does feel a little bit over the top whenever I watch it.
Nah, I've never felt that way about Alien 3. But then again, the baby thing's only implied.
My cat likes to fall asleep on top of my computer, and sometimes she'll just like slide her way off of it.
I was going to say, did it just cover the screen?
And then wake up in terror as it falls off of it.
The whip.
Yeah, it's a great weapon. And especially like right here, how it like recoils itself.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck?
I love that.
This.
Just like, what the fuck?
I love that shot as well.
Oh man,
with the
double stoner head shot.
I ain't getting killed for no whatever minimum wage.
The thing is, how does it do the triangular designation thing?
Yeah, this bit, okay. So the Predator shoots the alien here, right? And then he watches the guy get like his face melted. And in my head, I'm kind of like, oh, Wolf has like half his face melted too. So he's thinking like, oh shit, sorry, man.
I don't think it went that deep, but that is an interesting take.
So apparently this shop was something they found like 3 days before they filmed this. And it was a tiny little store with like two alleyways.
Yeah, because the script is supposed to be bigger, I think.
Yeah, it was a Kmart in the original, and they had a bigger location for it. Everything planned out and storyboarded, and then the owner tried to charge them twice as much.
I can believe that.
And they went, fuck you, and had to go and find this little store.
Okay, I do have to say that even with emergency generators, a hospital's not going to look that fucking creepy with the flickering lights and shit.
To be fair, it was shot in a mental institution.
Yeah.
Chet just had a birthday party.
But I don't think that's going to have creepy flickering lights either.
I assume mental institutions just look that bad all the time. If Arkham is anything to go by.
That's just the ambience they have. I do like this.
I do love this though.
Nose bite though, yeah.
You don't really see it, but the Chet's inner tongue actually has mini mandibles on it as well, which I kind of liked.
Well, it had that in the little chest burst puppet, didn't it?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on, Eddie? And it has the alien resurrection motif going on right here.
Oh yeah, sort of. Yeah,
good for a little bit. Oh, and now we got I love this guy, actually, the fucking creepy Colonel Stevens.
Yeah. Is he the smoking guy from... No, he's not.
What, X-Files? No. He's not the same guy.
No, what do I recognize him from? I'm going to look it up now. I got IMDb up here. Let's
Robert
see.
Joy.
Okay, he's in Land of the Dead. I remember him from that. What else is he in?
I think that it was a fucking waste not framing this entire film around OWLF. If they were determined to do something on Earth, it should have been like the OWLF tracking the crash Predator ship.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like how it's just mysterious in the background and how it alludes to it.
Well, I think the Strauss brothers were determined to make it like about working class people type thing. They weren't. I don't think that was their interest at all. I agree with you. That could have been more of an interesting take, but I think this was the bed they made, and they had to lie in it.
And they even said that, I think, in one of the early interviews. They were like, the first AVP, it was like scientists and professionals and stuff. And then this one is just like, this happens in your backyard.
But that's a problem that most people have with it. I mean, it's all well and good that you like the small town American
RidgeTop
thing, but most people don't.
I've got no problem with it. It's just that it's so cookie cutter and generic that there's nothing compelling about those characters.
I will admit, the ideal AVP is the one that every fan wants, which is in the future with Colonial Marines. I want to see that just as much as everybody else.
It doesn't need Marines, though, because the first and best comic didn't feature them. They were working class people in that comic. They were ranchers.
That's true, but it was in the future in the Aliens universe. Yeah. And this one...
But it doesn't need Marines, is what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't need Marines, but I'm just saying that's what fans want to see, because fans fucking love the Colonial Marines. They want to see Aliens versus Predators versus Colonial Marines.
I fucking love the pistol.
Me too.
I gotta say it.
It reminds me of AVP 2 because they had like the plasma pistol in that too.
I'd have preferred it if he'd have attached it to his forearm or something, because Predators to me, they always feel like they want to be hands-free.
Yeah. It's a shame we've never seen the energy flechette or the wrist rocket thing.
Well, we saw the energy flechette in
Primal
it was
Hunt,
in Predator 2, and it was also in The Predator, right?
Yeah, I suppose he does have the little ion cannon, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was on the helmet
I blanked it out.
But it doesn't fire like the flechette. Like, it doesn't have like the sharp, rapid-fire green lasers, which would be cool.
Well, the flechette and the wrist rocket were completely different, though, really, weren't they?
Speaking of which, we got to start with our Let's Play of AVP 2 Marine.
Oh, wait. Is this the part where the most cringeworthy line in the entire film is about...
The government
doesn't lie to people. I think that was just because this movie was so dark, they wanted some line that people would laugh at. Like,
but it's so cringeworthy. It's not something any normal American would say, especially in a situation like that.
There's some redneck-ass Americans out there that don't know any better.
Yeah, but they're usually the libertarian, in militias and stuff. They don't trust the government at all.
Well, we're going to get into politics.
No, we're not getting into politics.
No, it's not. What I'm saying is they distrust the government, and this film is
right. You're right. It was a cheap comedic moment for people to chuckle at. I'm not going to deny that. But I did chuckle at it the first time I saw it. Another alien resurrection motif.
Yeah. Did Kelly tell everybody she was military? Does that happen in the film? I can't remember.
I think they just know, it's a small town.
Or something, I can't remember. I only saw it a few moments ago. I think the sheriff or the other guy mentioned...
Well, she says like they care about containment first, so...
Yeah, but I think they mentioned that's how they know she's back in town, or... I think it's a given that it's a small town, so they know she's been off on tour or something.
Random pizza guy back. Yep.
Another comedic moment where he's just like, I'm going in the tank.
I think most people would want to go in the tank and get out.
Well, come on, it's not a tank, it's an APC.
I agree with that, yes, I agree. It's an armoured vehicle.
All right, Aaron, you better be on beer 3 by now.
Still RidgeTop cares about.
I don't have any left. Well, no, that's a lie. There's some left, but I'm not allowed them. They're Megan's.
What?
We split the beer. She has half, I have half.
I got a home bar, all right? You guys need to up your alcohol game.
Every time we talk about this, we talk about how the Americans all seem so much richer than us poor British. We can't afford a home bar.
That's not true.
I've seen your house.
That's because I live in Utah. If it was LA, this house would be like 4 times as expensive.
Yeah. That's the American version of London. Where people literally hire out cupboards under the stairs for thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds per month. It's crazy.
They have community living spaces where it's like you live in a warehouse full of bunks.
That sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I love LA. I don't know if I could live there. I love visiting, though. It's cool. There's a lot of shit to do in LA.
Gary Oldman once said that LA is one of the few places on Earth, it's the only place on Earth he knows where you can step out the door and you feel dirty.
I don't know if it's that bad. I mean, maybe in the 90s, but like LA is actually pretty nice these days.
I would love to live there.
It is overcrowded.
Yeah, there's a certain vibe about it. You have to be the kind of person who loves being in city. Wow.
Anyway, Alien and Predator.
Yeah, right.
Alien and Predator in a suburban area.
And the whole Titanic shit here, another cheap comedy moment. But I like what he says. Like, unless you can fly the helicopter, shut the fuck up.
What, you gonna draw me like one of your French girls? Somebody's been here. Oh, you know what they should have done here is show a half-eaten donut.
Make sure you change the hospital generator to creepy flickering light mode to save power.
Yes. It's literally an option on one of the computers. Flickering mode on, off, or indeterminate.
It's all right. Everybody's got that's not infrared, night vision. Does anybody else think how earlier when Molly gets given the MV goggles, they're fucking expensive?
That's
she got
exactly
a good gift.
what I thought when I saw it, yeah. Especially back then. This was like, 2007, wasn't it? Yeah.
7. Christmas Day, at least for me.
It jumped into frame again.
Didn't come out until... It did, you're right. I've never noticed that before until just now. How, like, every shot he shows up, he jumps into frame.
Yeah, he does a hero entrance thing. Like
I love this shot, though.
Yeah,
when he kicks the fucking glass in. Cool. Yeah.
You know, now I'm watching it, I'm wondering if Wolf is secretly drunk throughout this whole thing, because he's acting like, come on, I'm drunk, give us it.
Hey, he wouldn't be the only one.
Predator alcohol. That's what that blue stuff is. You just went there for a fun time.
It's not even working.
It's such a fuzzy screen. I think that's our Facebook stream there.
Shh. No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Our thing.
Our thing that we're watching. Yeah. But yes, this needs a 4K transfer, please.
This needs proper color correction. Well, color grading.
Yes, a 4K transfer with new color grading would be great.
I don't think it'd do that bad.
I think it would make significant impact. Again, that's the first thing everyone fucking mentions is how dark it is. Which I just saw the movie Underwater in theaters.
I thought you meant you saw this underwater.
No, I mean, I would watch it underwater if I had scuba equipment, but I saw the movie titled Underwater with Kirsten Stewart in theaters, and I think it was just the old-ass projector in the theater I saw it in, but that was way too dark, too.
Oh, no.
But it was a good movie. I liked it.
I've heard good things.
Mr. H fucking loved that movie. Like, his review was just like...
No spoilers.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he just loved it. And he interviewed the director after that.
Pred Alien's like, you spilt wine over my skirt. He just backs off.
Although I do like this, I must be honest.
Yeah. See, I'm going on tangents now, man. It's bad. It's bad.
You always
this was actually... Okay, so I flew out to LA to meet
nice
the Brother Strauss. And this was the first footage they showed with this little sequence.
Oh, you were at that LA convention, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was using it as a weapon.
I love this bit with the shuriken.
Yes. And
just the dual shurikens here. Yeah. And then in the unrated cut, like, she doesn't just get pinned, she gets, like, chopped in half and her lower half slides off.
Yeah. I hated what a lot of fans said about this moment.
It doesn't show it here.
Like, oh, the bitch got it. That made me go, what?
No, I mean, it's fucked up and cool, but she wasn't a bitch. I mean,
she was trying to be nice, and a lot of fans...
She had a bad boyfriend, but she left her boyfriend. She was going with Ricky now, so...
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Motherfucker.
I love the Hive set here. I fucking love that.
We all said that if you had to mention something good about this film, it's that Hive stuff. It looks it looks perfectly like it's taken out of Aliens.
Styrofoam, yeah. Styrofoam.
I honestly wonder if it's done from the same molds.
No,
it's more like a hard resin hive compared to like in the first AVP where it was just like more resurrection, like super slimy and like, I don't know. It's more like a structured looking hive in this one.
Oh, I quite liked it in the first AVP, to be fair.
See, the way the bullets go on these, all throughout this, it's like they look rubbery because they just go chunk, chunk. They should have had that sparking, ricocheting effect like they did in Aliens.
It kind of makes you wonder whether the fucking 5.56s that they're using would actually even do anything. Especially when well,
it's like the pulse rifles need that armor-piercing stuff.
And the explosive tips.
Yeah, that's what makes them react like that. You have to wonder in modern weapons if they'd have... Maybe they have an effect, but you'd have to shoot them a hell of a lot more.
Here's where that music starts, the Decimation Proclamation.
It sounds like video game music. Yeah,
but it sounds like fucking good video game music. And there's some good video game music these days with like professional orchestras and shit.
There is.
Fucking Halo for a start. Run.
Okay, so this was all like second unit stuff up here on the roof, right? Which is why the aliens move all slow and dumb.
Yeah, so pretty much anything with the main actors in with the brothers, and anything that's just creatures with second unit.
That's not how it should be.
But again, they had such a tight shooting schedule.
Yeah, they did.
That shooting schedule screwed up a lot of things about this film.
This was like $20 million. Like, it was crazy low budget, wasn't it?
40.
It's 40. Even that. Like, the movie Underwater had an $80 million budget, and I was like...
That's low budget these days, isn't it?
When I saw that, though, I was like, really? $80 million? Like, I don't know. I like the movie, but it didn't seem like an $80 million movie.
What I don't get about this is how Colonel Stevens knows these things are going to reproduce at an accelerated rate. He knows nothing about them.
Well, he had some footage of the aliens. Who knows what other
seen their mouth,
footage he saw. He might have had other footage.
See, that's why it would have been better if this was actually OWLF, and they got Lex from the end of AVP.
Yeah, maybe it was from Lex, because she would have been recovered by then, wouldn't she?
You can't let them reach the surface.
Okay, that movie's good too.
Well, it's better than this overall.
I remember the first AVP. After I got home from theaters...
I hate that so much.
After I got home from theaters, I was like, I love this movie. I can't wait to talk about it on AVP Galaxy. And AVP Galaxy was shut down because D fucking hated it so much. And then after this one, I had the same thought on Christmas Day. I was like, oh, that was so good. Like, I can't wait to talk about it. Oh, wait, everyone hates it.
You got basic bitch taste, haven't you?
Yeah. When it comes to AVP, I do. I guess I'm just much more forgiving with AVP than I am A or P.
This really does look like a Resident Evil movie directed by Paul Anderson here.
Yeah.
The same kind of lighting and everything.
I like every single Resident Evil movie too, except for the last one. The last one was fucking bad, which is a shame.
We've all got our guilty pleasure stuff though, haven't we?
But Resident Evil 1, 2, 4 were the best as far as movies go.
Were there any good ones at all?
No, they weren't.
The first one, for a video game movie in the early 2000s, the first one was pretty good.
For a video game adaptation, but that's not saying much, unfortunately.
Okay, and this is a reference to the Universal Studios attraction T2 3D when he blows the alien head into the air. Because James Cameron directed that, and Hydraulics were big James Cameron fans.
They said that, did they? So, oh, okay. Because I went on that ride. But
it's the exact same shot. You did?
Yeah.
When did you go to Universal?
Just 2010. It was just before they shut it down.
In Florida?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Have a good time?
I did, yeah. It was a bit over the top stylistically. It was not at the level the films were, but yeah, it was nice.
Did you go to both parks?
And just the Universal Studio. It was only one.
Hate this shot.
I was aware of it being.
I hate that.
The step on the head.
Oh,
No, man, there's 2 Universal parks in Florida. There's Islands of Adventure, and then there's Universal Studios Florida.
I imagine it was the latter then.
Did you do the Mummy ride? The coaster?
I don't... It either didn't go on it or it wasn't available then. I don't remember. It was just as they were starting to bring out the Harry Potter stuff.
You missed out, man.
Look at that. Alien on a windshield.
And acid conveniently doesn't...
Yeah, it didn't even try and break the glass. It was just like, hey guys, let me in.
It's cool seeing humans use predator weaponry for the first time as well. I dig that.
I do wish that we'd have seen more of that in the Predator, where it makes sense.
And just like the second Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil Apocalypse, they escape the city in the helicopter, and the nuclear blast makes the helicopter crash. Exactly the same.
Stop with your Resident Evil talk. Jesus Christ.
Disco dance poses there.
It's a shame it doesn't really... You don't see it in the film, but they'd actually covered Wolf in like loads of the jelly to show how fucked up he'd been over the course of the film, and the rain washed it all away.
I was going to say, it's not there.
Okay, so this movie actually won an award.
It won a Razzie, didn't it?
This fight won the MTV Movie Award for Best Fight. Back when MTV Movie Awards were a thing.
It didn't have much competition that year, though, did it?
I don't know if it did.
I don't really think any of the fights in this are that well choreographed,
This is the part that annoys me. The Predator disarms itself, and the Predalien just waits there?
Yep.
I mean, what? It even literally blinds itself with putting fingers over the eyes there.
Yeah, well, the Chet's part Predator, so he understands that he needs to wait for this.
But he's like, that's like calling normal aliens part human. It's not going to give a damn.
I'm being facetious.
Okay. I have a correction to make. It didn't win Best Fight. It didn't win Best Fight in 2008. It was nominated, but Never Back Down won Best Fight.
Okay.
It was Sean Ferris versus Cam Get however you say that name.
You know what? That it would have been better if Chet had knocked the fucking mask off him if they wanted to take the mask off.
Something like that, yeah.
And I guess the MTV Movie Awards are still a thing. Holy shit.
I do like this, though. Where it pulls the top.
It just rips the inner mouth out, yeah.
But it would have been better if they'd have been able to do as they originally planned and have
the acid spill over.
But they didn't have the...
I mean, that stuff looks like it is...
They wanted to do it, but they didn't have the money all the time. But this, I actually like the mutually assured destruction of the blades through Chet and the tail through wolf.
A lot of people thought that was a cop-out. And I still say that would have been better with a B-1 strategic bomber.
You see, that was actually a mistake. They didn't...
Yeah, Raptors can't carry nukes.
Yeah, well, they didn't... There was a mistake in the type of nuke that the guy was told about. So it was a sort of fuck up. They knew about it.
Yeah, but even so, it would have looked better with a big strategic bomber just thundering along.
And that's where the original script ended. Everybody died.
Really?
Everybody died.
Well, didn't they also shoot like the alternate ending where they all just get gunned down by the military right here?
I don't know if they shot it, but they talked about it.
That would have been weird. You survived! Kill them! It's been like Traeger in the Predator.
They gotta cover it up, man, yeah.
And apparently the Strauss brothers had originally... Well, they considered trying to get Michael Biehn to play one of the SEALs.
Why?
Because cameos are cool.
But what made them think this guy is going to be in our film?
Because cameos are cool.
Oh shit, we got Hudson's ancestor in Predator 2, and we got Hicks's ancestor in AVPR.
And we would have had another distant Hudson in this as well if they'd have got their way.
And Jane from
following
Firefly.
orders. Just following orders, man. It's 2007, Iraq war is going on. We're just following orders.
I wonder what Salerno's original pitch for the Iraq setting would have looked like,
Well, we see it in that comic, the Sand Trap.
Yeah, but
Wasn't it Afghanistan? I thought it was.
Oh, the Middle East somewhere.
Yeah, it was going to be a Predator spaceship crashes in Afghanistan, or that would. I don't know if that was for this one or
it was
potential AVP3.
No, it was this one.
Okay, it was going to be Afghanistan, yeah, and a Predator spaceship crash. Whether it was the same spaceship as is depicted here or just a random one, I don't know.
I need a medic for my brother. Well, no, you don't, because we're going to kill you all.
That originally killed him, but apparently the test screenings liked the dude and kept him on throughout the film.
You can just almost taste it. They want to have the little girl say, "Can we dream?"
Yeah, right. I will say I like this part where she looks to the stars.
Oh, it's horrible.
No, I like it. She's like, "What the fuck is out there?" Like
this shot actually looks like a Jurassic Park film.
Yeah, them all being rescued on the edge of the island. Yeah,
with like sweaty Bruce Willis vests and a T-Rex just lunges into
She's like, are these things going to come back? Like, what's the deal? And I like this bit.
See, I don't like this.
Building is cool.
I hate this end credit sequence.
No, I dig it. And I like Miss Yutani.
This pointless. It was pointless.
But
it wasn't pointless. They were going to use it as a
look at that shot with the
stone for the sequel, but
the snowy tree and the building under construction. Like, it's so cool.
No, fucking belt buckle and a plasma pistol somehow lead to FTL.
Wait! That gun, did he take it in with him on the helicopter?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was going to say, because he's opened the suitcase and that would have been radioactive as hell.
This isn't for our world, is it, Miss Yutani?
Dum, 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 dum. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it would have been cool if they'd have done that, end credit sequence where it goes to the people fighting the aliens with the tech from it, but nah, I really don't like that end.
I do like the credits, how it's like the alien font and the Predator font. That is kind of cool.
It is?
Yeah, I think it's cool. All right, boys. Give it to me straight. That's better than the Predator, and you both know it.
No.
As a whole or elements of it?
As a whole. It's better than the Predator. Objectively speaking, it's better than the Predator.
Objectively speaking, the Predator is a better film.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Predator's way more messy than that.
No.
They're a part if it, as a like gathering everything, factoring everything together. I think on balance, they're on a very similar level.
I think the only reason I even, when I said earlier that I enjoyed this more than The Predator on the last rewatch, I think it's because I've had 10 years to get over the disappointment of this. Whereas The Predator is still so sore.
Yeah, that's true. We were so fucking hyped for this movie, man. God.
Yeah, we were. I will say, I think The Predator did the characterization better.
And it's a much better cast, I think.
Yeah, they're slightly more memorable characters, whereas these are kind of nobody remembers these like lines these characters have said much. But I think, if you've watched them both on rewatch value, I think they're similar.
Mm.
They're both bottom of the pile, that's for sure.
Yeah, RidgeTop badly wants us to say, you know what, after all these years...
I know, I was hoping you guys would like it more. Fuck!
There are parts in it which it's been so long that there are parts that now I've rewatched it, I go, oh, okay, that shot was nice, that shot was nice. But I mean, you're talking about like taking it as a whole. It still has those obvious flaws that kind of like outweigh the little glimmers of...
Yeah.
I still need to read the original script. We need to do a podcast on that one.
But to be fair, the finished product is a hell of a lot better than the original script. It's got to be said that they did salvage it, but at the end of the day, this was a film that we didn't want. This isn't the setting or the story that any of us wanted.
That's not true. We did want it. Like, when the first trailer came out, everyone was hyped, even like with this setting.
Yeah, but
it was only until they saw the movie that everybody hated it.
We were hyped because it was being sold to us as this hardcore fucking balls to the walls kind of...
Yes.
It's going back to the gritty origins. This is Alien, this is Aliens, this is Predator.
The execution of it. But the thing you have to wonder is when you read the behind the scenes stuff of how tiny the budget was, they didn't have any time for reshoots, blah, blah, blah. It kind of feels like it was cursed. It's like they made... But you can't even say they made the best job that they could have, because there are still obvious flaws where you think, if I had to do it from the get-go, I would have shot it like this, I would have done this thing. And they just didn't... It's much better than it could have been. It's not disaster it could have been.
For sure, yeah.
But that's like saying, that the Robert Rodriguez Predator 3 script. I mean, that's absolutely awful.
It is like saying that, though. Yeah, like they did a much better job. Like,
yeah. But it's still not nearly as good as it could or should have been, even with that setting. But as you say, RidgeTop, that Red Band trailer... If it had been
this movie had some good trailers. Yeah.
It's not just the lighting, but if they had kept the tone of that trailer, that I agree. I remember going back on that and thinking, oh, okay, this could be entertaining. I could have just a decent afternoon, sit down at the cinema, and I will be entertained, even if it feels a bit video gamey. But the finished product, it's like Prometheus. Prometheus had that incredibly good trailer.
Had such a good trailer. Yeah. No, I don't deny this movie did not live up to that trailer for sure, and that's a shame. I do still think it should get a 4K release with additional scenes and color correction.
I just don't think anybody buy it.
And add this commentary that we just did. You can add that to the 4K Blu-ray release.
Yes, no royalties. We'll give it for free.
But anyone who's made it through this far, thank you for listening to us rant on about this.
Our commiserations for sitting through.
Hey, I think we were well behaved.
Had a good time. Yes,
I think we were. Surprisingly so.
It would just be boring to rag on it. I do think that kind of...
There are elements that are worth exploring. It's just a shame they didn't get executed like they should have been.
We've said throughout this, there are things that we do genuinely enjoy about the film. It just doesn't live up at the end of it, that's all.
But yeah, you did an anniversary post for this recently, Aaron, didn't you? Like on our social channels. And then all the comments were like, why did you have to remind me of this movie?
Yep. Well.
So
nobody will probably listen to this commentary then in that case.
Yeah, well. I still hope this is our first commentary that we actually release.
Voodoo Predator might have made it to the end of this. I think he likes AVPR.
That's what we should do next. We need to do a commentary of the Predator. Oh, man.
What we're going to do, work our way up from the bottom of the popular.
That's right. Do the worst ones first. Yeah.
And then we have to do the fan films.
We do?
Yeah.
I agree.
Which one is the CGI one where there's a character who literally roundhouse kicks an alien?
That one is actually good, though. That was AVP Redemption.
To be fair, Redemption is...
No, not that one. There's an early fan film that was all completely CGI. Not the one that was done by the Russian guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was and they were like on a jungle planet, and it's a load of colonial marines.
Isn't that the one that Fox shut down?
No, he's thinking of...
That's the one that Fox shut down, isn't it?
No, if he's thinking AVP, then yes, that did get shut down. But somebody released like a half-hour first part of a CGI colonial marine film.
All I remember is they had this CGI colonial marine, and this alien is going up to him, and he literally adopts a kung fu stance, and he does a roundhouse kick on this alien. Anyway, we should do that one. Yeah,
we should, because it sounds awesome.
I think I know which one you mean. I'll find it and I'll message it.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope everybody's enjoyed this. You'll have to let us know how you're feeling. In regards
drunk, probably.
Yeah. And hopefully you've managed to find some enjoyment in this. I don't know. You'll have to let us know.
If you do it again, take a shot every time. X, Y, and Z. We'll have to make up a drinking game for AVP.
Yeah. No, we gotta come up with some drinking game ideas for this and put this on the post recommendations or something.
We'll actually play along with it.
We should have done that beforehand. I can't believe you guys wimped out on the booze, man.
Didn't wimp out. I even sent the missus out specifically to get some beer today.
We actually watched it sober.
And I've watched this about 4 times in preparation for this. I hope you fucking appreciate the effort I put into these things.
You're such an overachiever, Aaron.
Well, there's all the commentaries. There's watching it for the first time in so long. To write down my initial opinions.
What was the thing you learnt most interesting from the commentary? Because this is when you can put that knowledge to good use now. We'll do it like a post-watch interview.
I've been saying it trying to say it as we went through the fucking film. That was the point.
Sorry.
Not as you go along. I'm saying, what was the most interesting as a whole that you remember? The thing in the commentary that you went, oh, that's interesting. What was the one thing?
Honestly, for the commentaries, it's not. I tend to find the earlier scripts more interesting and the differences between them. So I did reread the scripts as well. And honestly, it's just how much better the final product ended up being, really. Although I did kind of like the bleak ending of everybody just dying in the blast.
In the Blu-ray, don't they have 2 commentaries? They have one with Studio ADI, and they have one with the directors and a couple of the actors.
Yes. No, it's the brother Strauss and John Davis, the producer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think they had any with the actors.
No.
I gotta say the commentary for the first AVP with Paul Anderson and then the actors was really good.
I do remember that one, yeah.
But we'll no doubt be coming to that one soon anyway. And then be having to watch the audio commentaries as prep. So you can revisit it then. That's if you do prep. I didn't think you did prep.
I will. I'm sorry.
It's called drinking.
I'll believe it when it happens.
I'm motivated now. We need to do a commentary for all the movies because this was fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And hopefully everybody listening enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So, thank you everybody for listening. This has been Corporal Hicks.
RidgeTop.
Xenomorphine.
Signing off.